We're going to open the phones up in the next hour on any issue you wish to discuss at 1-800-259-9231. William Lewis, the director of Camp FEMA, available right now at Infowars.com. We also have it discounted when you get it, when you pre-order it with the film coming out in just about a week and a half. And that, of course, is Fall of the Republic. I'm so excited about this documentary. William, your comments on the mercenaries, your comments on this story of how when they even knew he was a fraud and a scam and wanted to police the locals, they just said, big deal. So what? I mean, it's just, we have this criminal class in control of our local governments and our federal government, and it's just going to get worse and worse until we realize this. Government is not a license to steal for all the boss hog scum that runs it.
Well, all those people are, more than happy to participate in this policing program and be under the control of Mr. Culver, but I doubt very many of those people would feel the same way if he were allowed to carry through with his plan. I was reading an article by Dee Kidd, and she's released some information in this article that he's actually an executive with the security firm International SOS out of Pennsylvania, and ISOS provides security services and says that it's the world's largest medical and security assistance company. It's the biggest one. You look on their page under, their capabilities page and their pandemic preparedness page, and they've got all sorts of plans for medical evacuation and you name it. I doubt very seriously that people of that town are going to feel the same way when there's a flu pandemic or any kind of outbreak or whatever the excuse they want to use, that the sheriff needs to go around and start rounding people up.
Well, what the locals do, and I want to be clear, we have footage of this. We're walking down Main Street. Every other car stops. People are running up. They're fans of the show. We run into some great people in Hardin. But then the small minority of fat cats, they would run up and say, you say there's barricades and that flu's been released here. We would never say that. Our guest would bring up the point of, hey, could this be for a flu pandemic? Why are they policing the town? Why is the guy? And then they would spin it like they said mustard was mustard gas. We didn't even bring up the mustard comment. She did. And we said, yeah, it said that, for alien detainees. It's what they call, enemy combatants. They admitted this. And they spun it that I said aliens were in cryogenic tubes. So the locals tried to put up a smoke screen, the local boss hogs that wanted this, that we were talking about aliens and mustard gas and that the town was a giant FEMA camp. But see, that didn't work. The Attorney General, the FBI's after them now. Their crap didn't work. So what these hucksters do in every case is they just throw out, you're a conspiracy theorist. But if somebody's walking out of your house with your TV set and your family jewels, they're robbing you. It doesn't matter if they call you a conspiracy theorist. That doesn't work at a certain point. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is nothing new that the media is doing, and those are the same terms that they've used over and over again. Several years ago when we put out 911 in plain sight, Beck called us up to go on his program, and we had Dave go on with a photograph that he was supposed to be able to show on air. And before Dave could even get a chance to, provide some information and some examination, Glenn Beck calls him some kind of a Area 51 freak and compares him to an Elvis sighting. He's seeing Elvis out in the desert at Area 51.
No, but that's what they do. They just made up that I said space aliens were there in the newspaper. Gary Franchi, the producer and the director, William Lewis, join us, Camp FEMA. We're going to be going to your phone calls right now. In fact, who's up next here in my list? Matthew in Oregon? Matthew in Oregon, then Nelson, Anthony, Kurt, Scott, and others. You're on the air with the makers of Camp FEMA, but they can speak about any issue. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Matthew McDaniel, and I'm a human rights activist for the Aka people in Thailand. And currently, I'm riding a horse across the United States from Salem, Oregon, and I'm about 10 miles west of Weatherford near Dallas. And I'm just amazed when I go through these small towns in Texas, Post, Texas, Snyder, Texas, and Anson, Texas, and I asked the little old lady, I said, hey, what's that uniform you got on? And she says, oh, it's a prison uniform. I work at the prison. And I said, what, you got a prison here? And he goes, yeah, it's just outside of town. I said, well, what do you think of that? She said, well, it's good for jobs. And I wonder, it's like, they're using these small, falling apart communities for putting prisons in, and nobody can see them.
And it's not going to it's not going to get better. It's getting worse, and that's why they're passing laws. Go to jail for selling eggs. Go to jail for garage sales. Go to jail for babysitting neighbors' kids. They're making everything criminal and then telling neighbors to spy on neighbors because they've admitted the new economy is going to be in prison or managing the prison.
Well, did you see the article that said they're going to start fining bloggers if they put misinformation on their blog site?
Yes, I forgot to cover that. Government agency is going to fine you. It's going to decide what's true and what isn't. And absolutely, in the State Department, yes, and they're going to have a message that pops up saying your site's not accurate. I mean, if you say that Iraq didn't have WMDs, they're going to say you're evil and fine you because everybody knows they had nukes.
You have on your website one of my videos from with the Aka people in northern Thailand.
Hold on. When you mention those people, yeah, they come and force them tetanus shot after tetanus shot till they have the miscarriage. So you're the guy that shot those videos.
Right, that's me.
Well, good job.
I documented women who said I was forced to have 3 tetanus toxoid vaccinations during one pregnancy. And when I was 9 months pregnant, I got the vaccination, and the same day the baby stopped moving, and the baby came out about 8 hours later.
Yeah, you have woman after woman, and the UN has been caught. The UN has been caught sterilizing people through the shots. Yeah, you're only supposed to get 1 tetanus shot every 7 years. They give the women 3 special ones. But they found that tetanus is good to bind the female hormone to cause the miscarriage. That's what the UN's been. So they're murdering babies, which is what this calls for, forced abortion, White House science czar. And you're the guy. I'd like to have you on as a guest.
Well, it's the thing is they're focusing it on the minorities like the Aka Hill tribe, and we have all these videos on Aka.org. But they're focusing on the Hill tribe because I'd ask the nurses, wait, you have a tetanus shot every 7 years. Why are you making the women come in for 3 shots during each pregnancy? And they're telling the women, if you don't, then there's no ID card for your baby.
That's right. No welfare, no money. Yeah, they use the welfare to get to kill them, yeah.
And so what we're doing now is we're doing a national protest march about the human rights conditions of the Akas. By going across the U.S. by horseback. My wife, she's Aka, and we got 5 little kids in a bus that says Ride for Freedom. And, the other thing we got a big problem with is all these American missionaries going to northern Thailand and taking away Aka kids and telling their churches that they're orphans, if you want to see a big fraud in action.
Well, child kidnapping is what America does. We kidnap our own kids. We kidnap everybody else's kids. Hell, they're lucky they just don't go to Iraq and just murder everybody. I mean, that's what we do. We poison our own people, we murder everybody, and we make TV ads celebrating ourselves, saying how good we are. Sir, I'm going to put you on hold. Give me your name and info. I recognize your voice from the videos. Great job you're doing. We should have you on sometime from a landline about what's going on there. We're going to come back with Gary Franchi and William Lewis of Camp FEMA, continue talking about their film, Camp FEMA, American Lockdown, available at Infowars.com. Stay with us.